dark and horrifying secrets exist beyond the walls of Latveria, and will it be enough for the Avengers to turn the tide against Emperor Doom? Well, let's hop into the pages of One World Under Doom issue number 6 and find out together, shall we? So then, this issue wastes absolutely no time getting started as we see Victor Von Doom and his most hated foe Reed Richards have agreed to a live TV sit-down on state media. Yes, that's right, everyone. Doom has defeated the Fantastic Four on the field of battle, in the court of public opinion, and now he really wants to rub some salt on the wound by beating Reed in the marketplace of ideas. Debate me IRL, bro. Emperor Doom is actually great for the world. Change my mind. Of course, this is really just a smoke screen to keep Dr. Doom busy while the rest of the Avengers work on taking him down, and I think it's an absolutely beautiful bit of characterization that the one thing Doom in his infinite power simply could not ignore and could not give anything less than 100% of his attention to was a debate with Reed. What's on the agenda, you might be wondering? Well, of course, Doom's own leadership over the world. Is it good? Is it bad? Reed certainly has a lot of facts and figures and a lot of information to share with the audience, but Doom is so far past any of that now. He has the people of the world by their hearts, not their minds. He appeals to their emotions, to their gut feelings. He tells them exactly what they want to hear all the time. Doesn't matter if it's true or not. Hey, just like a lot of real-world dictators, am I right? For a second there, it seems like Mr. Fantastic might actually have a slam dunk argument, that being that before he became Sorcerer Supreme and Emperor of Earth, Dr. Doom actually knew about what was going to happen with the vampire takeover during the events of Bloodhunt, and yet he stood by and did nothing to stop it because the situation only behooved him. Victor, in classic master debater fashion, ends up completely Uno reverse carding Mr. Fantastic in this scenario by saying, you know what, there was another man, a famous man, a man named Churchill. He knew about the horrors that were coming on the day of Pearl Harbor, and you know what he did? He also stood by and did nothing because he weighed the options and knew that it was much more important for America to get attacked and ultimately enter the war so that the Nazis could actually be defeated. I did the exact same thing. I am a modern day Churchill. Doom 2025, everybody. Of course, Reed, being a scholar, is quick to say that a lot of that is just speculative and no one can actually know for certain whether or not Churchill really did that, as any corroborating evidence is probably long gone. Doom once again manages to appeal to the emotions of the crowd by saying, yeah, you can't prove it wrong, therefore it must be right. Once again, I, Doom, have owned and destroyed you with my superior debating. Now, this is only half the story, because as all of this is going on elsewhere, we see the assembled hero community trying to break down the barriers into Latveria. Even with their powers combined and Maria Hill leading the way, they can only let in a small exploratory force made up of the Invisible Woman, Scarlet Witch, and Black Widow. Honestly, a pretty interesting trio, if I do say so. You got your chaos, magic, your super science, and your espionage. And honestly, this covert mission calls for 3 in equal measure. The women make it into Latveria and begin to realize right away that things just aren't lining up the way they should. Basically, the city looks way too perfect, like it was staged or something, kind of like North Korea. That's because none of the people they're seeing right now are actually real. They're hard light constructs. Realistic enough to fool any onlooker, but not so realistic that they stand up to scrutiny right next to them. Now, back at the debate, Dr. Doom is ready to drop what he believes to be his A-bomb argument, and that is that the heroes of Earth are actually selfish and deeply uncaring to the plight of regular everyday people. After all, Iron Man with his special power source could easily have ended the energy crisis. Mutants cheated death but only shared it with a select few. Pym particles could end hunger overnight, to say nothing of Wakanda and their vibranium reserves. Yes, according to Doom, all the heroes, especially Reed himself, gained their powers in the world as it is, and as such they want to keep it that way, as to maintain their position in the world order. Reed fires back by saying there's a reason they don't do those kinds of things, that their powers and technology are hard to control and implement, and if they did start doing these things, then it would only be a matter of time before Earth truly became dependent on them. People would never actually need to grow and change and evolve. They would always be looking to the heroes all the time. No longer would Reed and the other heroes simply simply be trying to help. They would in one way or another be responsible for directing the entire world. In fact, hey, would that not be embracing a kind of tyranny not unlike what Emperor Doom is doing right now? Of course, that still begs the biggest question of all, and that is how exactly is Doom managing to pull all of this off? Where is he getting his power? As Scarlet Witch explains, and as you would already know if you've read a lot of Marvel magic books, magic just kinda can't be conjured out of thin air. There's an equivalent exchange. You gotta give something to get something. And those rules apply even when you're Sorcerer Supreme. Scarlet Witch and the others end up finding a secret facility hidden in the heart of Latveria. A massive tower radiating untold amounts of magic, and that is because deep inside this facility is a secret prison, wherein Dr. Doom has locked up every citizen of Latveria to siphon off their life force to feed his power. This, of course, being the deep dark secret as to how Victor has been able to cheat all the rules of magic and make it look so simple. And it's the smoking gun Mr. Fantastic knows will ultimately be the key to bringing Emperor Doom down once and for all as he disseminates this information to the entire audience watching at home. As always, Doom has a retort ready to go, saying that all of these people in this prison, they're patriots, they're volunteers. They believed in Doom's greatness and were willing to throw themselves into a meat grinder if it meant a better world. And you know what? The crowd might very well have believed Doom too if Reed wasn't ready with some pictures of children in cages. Did they volunteer too, Victor? Did they agree to be sacrificed on the altar of your ego and thirst for power? I sure don't think so. This proves to be the final straw for Dr. Doom, who ends up going completely insane and attacking Reed right then and there. Victor says, alright, you know what? Fine, you got me. Yeah, I did sacrifice all those people, and I'd sacrifice 1,000,000 more to see my dream realized. You people just don't understand what it takes to make a perfect world. I've given you everything you want, comfort, security, and yeah, some people died along the way. But freedom isn't free, baby, and Emperor Doom decides who lives and dies. As the comic comes to a close, Doom ends up absolutely melting poor Reed's face as the camera feed ends up cutting out all over the world, as the shocked populace is forced to reckon with what they've just seen and heard. And so that was One World Under Doom, issue number 6, everybody, and man, this issue really felt like Ryan North showing off, but in the best way possible. Hey, I've got such a good handle on Reed Richards and Dr. Doom as characters, I'm gonna have an entire issue that is basically just them talking. And I'm gonna put it right near the tail end of my big summer event, and you're all gonna love it. Well, I mean, I certainly loved it. I can't speak for everyone, but this sort of thing is totally my jam. Reed and Victor morally and intellectually sparring with the fate of the entire world hanging in the balance. That stuff is just so great on its own, classic quintessential Marvel, and that's even before we really start peeling back the layers on the socio-political commentary on this one. Doom, as a strongman dictator, was willing to sacrifice his own nation and all the men, women, and children in it if only he had the opportunity to stand over the superheroes who he so despises and say that he's better than them. The best part by far, though, is the knowledge that Victor did indeed feel bad about this, or at least knew that this would probably undo his entire plan if people knew what he did, because he was ashamed enough to cover his tracks and hide it. It's also probably the clearest, most concise message they could probably give when it comes to talking about totalitarian dictatorships. They can talk about making the trains run on time as much as they want, but at the end of the day, this is how they all ultimately arrive, turning people into grease for a machine that exists only to feed the ego and cult of personality for their quote-unquote great leaders. I also gotta wonder too, now that Doom has his back against the wall, now that he's been found out, will he be more dangerous than ever? How is all of this gonna shake out? I don't know, but I'm super excited to find out. Overall, I feel comfortable giving this one another 8 out of 10. One World Under Doom continues to be one of the most interesting, nuanced, and enjoyable summer events I've read in a while. Hey there everyone, it's your pal Cape Joel again, and if you're seeing my face right now, that means you watched to the end of the video, and I'll always be grateful for that. Retention helps in this crazy YouTube game, and so does becoming a patron. If you head on down to the description, you can find a link to my Patreon page. Recently just redid all the tiers, a lot of cool stuff offering up there, exclusive commentaries, exclusive polls, behind the scenes concept art for Capes and Quest. That's the brand new D&D show I've started soon. Never been a better time to become a patron. You can become a patron for as little as $1 a month and help the channel grow and, help me continue to deliver content like what you just saw. So I want to thank you all, and I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.